And welcome to episode 3 of the F1 Debate Show. As ever, we are joined on the other end of the line by my personal friend, Lyle, aka Forever Formula. Lyle, how you doing, my friend?
Yes, hello JT, it's great to be here once again.
Oh, it is great. Episode 3. Can you believe it?
Yeah,
3 weeks of doing this. We are forever growing, as they would say. As ever, we are currently in the middle of testing at the moment, which is happening right now as we speak, as we so speak. And obviously we've had 3 days so far, day one, day 2 and day 3, and we're going to kick the show off by discussing day 3, day 1, day 2 and day 3 rather. And so what's your overall personal opinion on test 2 and the 3 days compared to the first test?
Well, test 2 day 1 kicked off on Tuesday the 1st of March, and the fastest driver was Nico Rosberg in the Mercedes with a time of 1:22.022 seconds. Behind was Valtteri Bottas and Fernando Alonso, a third place, in a race that would equate to a podium. The first time they've would ever be on a podium. They weren't last year, apart from their pretend jump on the podium during Q2 in Brazil. Really great start for them. Kimi Räikkönen was 4th place. Daniel Kvyat 5th, Lewis Hamilton 6th, Max Verstappen in the Toro Rosso was 7th.
Yeah.
Now I want to start talking about the Toro Rossos first.
Yeah.
Now in test 1 we saw very little of them. We saw the naked car. We saw them underperforming.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Not very good.
Yeah.
Last year was Max Verstappen's best year in Formula One. It was his only year in Formula One.
Only year in Formula 1.
So was Carlos Sainz.
It was a good debut, yeah.
His only debut, his first good year, his only year. So Toro Rosso have really stepped their game up since the first test, which is fantastic.
It wasn't good the first test, no.
It was. They really made some improvements. We also saw Mercedes back on top. Test 1 was dominated by the Ferraris of Sebastian Vettel. Sebastian Vettel and Kimi Räikkönen, but more so Sebastian Vettel, who took more of a lead in the car. And yeah, we saw Mercedes, their true pace back on form. Test 2 is more of an inclination of what we can expect during the season, as it's given the drivers. The drivers have been in the cars quite a lot, quite frequently, compared to many months out of Formula 1 since the last race in Abu Dhabi the previous season. So yeah, day 1 was very good. JT, do you want to give a rundown of what you saw?
I was just keeping on updates of the second test because I've been working and I have been quite busy with work, so I haven't really keeping an eye on things. But I've definitely seen some improvements in McLaren.
Oh yes, there were
Definitely,
very improvements.
Massive improvements. I mean P3 in day 1 for Fernando Alonso. I mean, that was just terrific.
It is. It's unbelievable. It's better than.
I mean, what McLaren was saying is that they ran a revised or better engine that they were in the first test, which allowed them to push up the field.
Yeah.
In a way, and obviously day 2 and 3, I think Jensen was 5th or 6th, because I know he's quite low down. And then was it Jensen in day 2 or was it Alonso?
Yes.
It was Jensen. I thought it was, and then it was Jensen in day 3, wasn't it as well?
Or was Jensen was? Or was that? It was Fernando Alonso in day 3.
It was Alonso in day 3, so it'll be Jensen. Yeah. It'll be Jensen now. And I mean, in day 2 and 3 they were lower down than what they were, but I mean, at the same time, that's still improvement, and that is still a point scoring position.
Yep.
Also, I mean, I must give credit to Toro Rosso, who had a bad first test. Then the second test they've sort of just like revived and sort of picked up the pace a bit, and
They have.
And I think I know why, because they've actually put some clothes on. That's why.
Yeah. One thing that I forgot to mention was the laps. As you were saying, Toro Rosso making improvements. Maybe this is why they did 144 laps, which was the most. Nico Rosberg did 82, which was quite a low number compared to what was out there, and he came first. Valtteri Bottas, who came second, did 123. Fernando Alonso did 93. Kimi Räikkönen did 72. 69 for Daniel Kvyat. 90 for Lewis Hamilton in the Mercedes.
Yes.
121 for Nico Hülkenberg and 103 for Felipe Nasr.
Oh, see, that to me, right? Because cast yourself back 2014. There was barely 100 laps between the field. Now,
It was.
now there's like 100 laps for this team, 110 laps for so and so, and you can see how like the how well and how better like F1 teams are learning this. Obviously the new rules and everything. Obviously everything changes next year. But obviously, as I said, catch yourself back to then. It was like the car's a lot more reliable. They're faster and the better really, which is good for the sport. But I mean, I just hope that people can catch Mercedes this year.
Oh yes, I hope so. But it was showing improvement day one, much better than the first test. I would say in my opinion. Would you agree?
Oh, definitely.
Yes.
Definitely without a doubt. It's,
Yeah. So it set a benchmark moving into day two. Second place for Valtteri Bottas, 123 laps, moved into the lead with a 1:23.261. So a slower time than day two. Sorry, day one.
Yeah.
Did 108 laps in the car.
Yeah.
Lewis Hamilton with 73. He was the least amount of laps in the car with a gap of 300th of a second.
Oh wow.
So the second for Lewis Hamilton. Third was Kevin Magnussen with 126 laps.
That's good.
Sebastian Vettel in the Ferrari, someone who we saw dominating in Test 1, was fourth place. Yep, there we go again with your McLaren. Jensen Button in fifth place,
yes.
121 laps.
That is good. I'm happy with that. I mean, weren't fastest, but that's still good. That's really good.
It is. It's fantastic. It's something that they haven't been. Well, I'll say last year they hadn't been performing at all.
Oh, no.
In the Formula One on the Formula One website, Jensen Button was praising the team for the new power unit and the new engine upgrades that they had made going into Test 2, which has really helped them.
Oh yeah.
But loads of pressure must have been given to Honda to up everything on the car that they provided.
Oh, it was massive pressure throughout the winter.
Sixth place was Daniel Ricciardo with 135 points. Red Bull doing average, being in the middle of the field at the moment. Carlos Sainz with 166 laps in the Toro Rosso.
Yeah.
And Sergio Perez with 128 laps in the Force India.
Oh yeah. Since you mentioned Force India, I was going to say again, as I was saying, praise to McLaren and praise to Toro Rosso, praise to Force India, because I was looking at the fastest laps so far throughout both tests of Test 1 and Test 2, and the Force Indias are up there along with the Williams, the Ferraris and the Mercedes. They're in that mix, and that to me says, can Force India get more podiums and maybe even get a race win, providing the results go their way.
I really hope so. It looks good for the midfield teams. Winter testing hasn't ever been one-sided. Other teams have been in the mix. But it's still a showing at the top teams like Mercedes, McLaren, obviously a few years ago, and Ferrari have been there. So it's good for all the midfield teams. The team that we haven't mentioned is Haas.
Haas.
But the team that we haven't mentioned is Renault. They did absolutely fantastic in day two. Kevin Magnussen with a gap of 600, 126 laps with a time of 129. That is unbelievable. It really is unbelievable. His career has been watched in 2014 in McLaren, but now he's almost a different Kevin. He's a different K-Mag. He is stronger. He feels a lot better. He feels like he has the support, or in my opinion, obviously, he feels like he has the support of the team of Renault.
Yes.
When he probably didn't when he was at McLaren, because they'll have been, like they are now, behind Jensen, because he is now the team leader. He's been there for 6 years. I was going to say 4 there. 6 years. So he will have the team backing, because it's almost like a friend who's been around for the longest. You like them the best.
Yeah. Definitely. I mean, especially credit to K-Mag. I mean, he quoted this week that his second stint in Formula One feels better than his first already. So again, that will give him some confidence. That will give Renault some confidence as well, because they believe that look, we've got 2 very happy drivers in Julian Palmer and Kevin Magnussen, which will then give the team confidence and maybe even like get them on the podium. I mean, me personally, I don't think they'll get on the podium. Only as like I said, how Force India might win a race if the results go their way. But I believe that I think they're in for a really good, solid season. I mean,
Yep.
Critics in that were predicting like a really low, bad season for Renault, but
Yeah.
I believe that'll improve it. I mean, obviously, it's like Kim Mag said that he's happy with the return to Formula One. He feels it's better than his first one. And again, that'll boost team morals, and it'll boost it
Yep.
for the team as well. So and he's there on screen. There he goes. Meow. Bye bye. Oh,
Yeah, I
yes.
really hope so.
I do like the car. Is that? Oh no, that's Julian. Is that Julian Palmer? No, it's Kevin. It's. Oh look, there's the times. Test one. Test one day 4 is on screen. On the next video that I'll be showing, it'll be
Yep.
day 2. Test 2 day 1 from the videos that I could find. But
Yep.
so yeah, I mean compare that to what my friend Lyles just said to day 2, test 2 rather. Then you can't see the difference between the various teams. I mean, especially like the likes of the Williams and the Force India have improved, McLaren as well. There we go, test 2 highlights coming your way right now. After this advert, who put adverts here? What a stupid idea! We don't do adverts on the F1
in
division.
Formula One.
We don't do adverts on Formula One.
Just on that topic.
Hello.
Will Channel 4 be uninterrupted, or will they have adverts in between the race?
Channel 4 have said that it will be I'll get my words out eventually. Uninterrupted coverage. I stuttered a bit there, but I'll eventually get my words out. Yeah, they said that no ad break in Formula One. Throughout, obviously during their live races, and obviously the races where they aren't shown live. But for those who are watching Channel 4 in the UK or even in other countries, I don't know if Channel 4 broadcasts anywhere else. But for those who will be watching on Channel 4, obviously if you want to know a little bit more about who's going to be in the team, because I think I've only heard that David Coulthard's just been announced from the BBC. Susie Wolff is going to be alongside. She's going to co-host Channel 4 F1 with David Coulthard as well. And if you remember Ben Edwards, the commentator, he's also going to be there. You've also got the likes of, who else have you got? Let's have a look. Was David Coulthard's going to be there. Susie Perry isn't going to be involved, unfortunately. I think she's going into radio, as is Tom Clarkson. He's going to be in radio as well. He's going to Radio 5. So he's not going to be there. Karun Chandok, if you remember, the former HRT driver, he's also going to be the second reporter in the pit lane, alongside Lee McKenzie, who's also moving from the BBC to F1, Channel 4 F1 rather. And unfortunately, Eddie Jordan isn't going to the Channel 4 because of obviously he's at Top Gear. But and obviously, and the best news of all, I think that the news that Channel 4 pretty much they had to do was keep the chain as their main intro for Formula One, because it had developed into an icon song. Whenever you hear it, you immediately think Formula One.
You do.
Oh, it is. But I'm very pleased that Channel 4 have actually picked up the picked up the rack and actually followed on from the BBC, because the BBC did do a really good job. But and obviously, I mean, there might be a lot of us that do watch Sky. I mean, you watch Sky, don't you, Lyle?
I do, yes.
Yeah, you watch Sky F1. Yeah, but if you may and you don't have Sky, then obviously you've got to resort to Channel 4 or you stream. It's one of the two. You can't miss Formula One now, can you, Lyle?
Oh God, miss Formula One. It's a sin.
It is a sin. I mean, whoever misses Formula One, if you miss a race for whatever reason, you should just shake your head in shame. But so yeah, I think we've pretty much covered testing, and also the Channel 4 that we wanted to bring up. Alright, so I'm just going to quickly run through to make sure that I haven't missed anything from that section of Channel 4, because if I do, then I could be getting wrong, and we don't want that. Couldn't have got Jensen's button on the screen. Yeah. But also, while flicking through, we've also seen pictures of the this new halo design that's coming into Formula One about the driver head protection, which has caused a little bit of controversy, which everything does in Formula One, doesn't it?
It does.
It does. I mean, it just seems to be that everything that happens, any new rule that comes in, seems to be some sort of issue. But
such as a virtual safety car, I think an example that's mine. That's my example of a controversial rule. It confuses everyone. That's why Ted Kravitz is always releasing these videos where he explains it, because no one gets it.
No, exactly. No one. I mean, Ted Kravitz, for example, did turn around and say like, "Oh, the Formula One cars will sound like this in 2014," and they actually didn't. And it was just like, Ted, you lied to us. I don't know how you dare lie to us. But I'm just going into this folder, and here's a picture. Here's Kimi Raikkonen in the Ferrari, and as you can see, it's sort of like kind of like a wishbone type of shape. Which is a bit strange in my eyes. I mean, people were saying it's called the flip flop. I do see the point. I mean, it does very much look like a flip flop, but it just, there's another picture. It just doesn't look nice. I don't understand how that is actually going to protect the drivers' heads. I mean, what's your verdict, Lyle? I mean. Are you with it or are you against it?
I am against it 100%. Firstly, it's safety, obviously. Since Japan in 2014, the FIA and the FOM were always meeting on a weekly basis. Bernie Ecclestone hardly even left the paddock because he was just getting surrounded with all these questions on what to happen. I think it's a terrible idea, and I've actually got something that was on the Facebook page Wet Track Dry Tyres, which is in 2006, the FIA banned BMW's Sauber's twin tower aero device, which was protection for the cockpit, protection for the drivers, additional to the helmets.
Yeah.
And it was banned because they ruled, which is, in my view, it's unbelievable, that banned the driver's side. And this one does. You can see the pictures that I assume are being played at the moment. It is unbelievable. The drivers just won't anything head on. They won't be able to see. It only really protects the nose. I'm just thinking in terms of the centre of the head. Any part. I mean, there's flaws in this. There's unbelievable flaws. John, expand on this on what could happen.
Yeah, I mean, in terms of driver visibility. I mean, the picture on screen now, which took forever to find, by the way. I do apologise about that. I couldn't remember where I put it. So the picture on screen is the driver cockpit camera of the so-called halo head protection, and obviously, as me and Lyle have both seen this, and I was saying to him earlier that on the picture on screen, it is the driver has some kind of visibility because it's on a corner, but on a straight, you're not really going to have much of a visibility. Especially if something were to happen right in front of the driver, they're not going to maybe react in time and cause absolute carnage. Which again will cause more controversy if that were to happen. But I mean,
the example that you gave, Jordan, is Silverstone 2013.
Yes.
Do you want to explain that?
It is. For example, as I was saying before, in the straight line, if you remember, Fernando Alonso behind Sergio Perez when he had a blowout, when everything went wrong in that race, he reacted quickly and moved swiftly to the left, almost straight away. Once that happened, fast reactions as you've got to have in Formula One. But if that were to be on the car, would the driver then not see that, and then immediately once that tyre is blowing, then the car's going to immediately slow down so quickly that the driver's not going to have enough time to react because it can't see and it doesn't know what's going. He can't see the full picture. He might see something, but he doesn't know what it is. That it could have been a bit of tyre degradation. It could have been anything. It could have been a little part coming off the car. You don't know what that could have been. Then next thing you know, bang! You've hit one car. Then someone else comes in, and then next thing you know, it's absolute carnage. And then all the fans, drivers, teams, they're going to be whinging and crying to the FIA and all them and saying like, oh, we need to change this, and then here we go again, back to square one. But if they do run this 2017, I mean, in my opinion, I hope they don't. It's looking likely, but you never know. They might say, right, we're going to give this another year to test.
Yeah.
And but if they do run it, then it's not the answer.
Yeah.
But I mean, nobody really wants to think about it as much anymore. But let's turn our attention to what happened to Jules Bianchi. That won't prevent that. Like, if that were to happen again, I mean, God help us that it doesn't. I really hope it doesn't to anybody. But if that were to happen again, that wouldn't really protect his head. Because of the injuries he sustained, the type of injury he had, nobody survived it, and that's not going to prevent you having that type of injury again if you have a similar sort of injury, and also you couldn't prevent the type of accident he had.
No,
you know what I mean? I mean, he span in the wrong place at the wrong time. The lorry was in the wrong place at the wrong time.
Yeah.
And then ever since then, everyone's just like, we need to do this, we need to do that, we need to... And it's like, no, that's not the answer. What you need... You're not going to prevent death in motor racing. It will happen again.
Not.
Exactly, unfortunately not. Obviously, that's the way it's always been. And that's the way it's always going to be. I mean, as Martin Brundle says, Jules certainly isn't the first driver to die in an F1 car, and he certainly won't be the last. And he won't be. It might be another 50 years.
Yeah.
But there's every chance it might happen again in an accident that isn't preventable. And in my opinion, this isn't the answer. But I mean,
it isn't at all.
No.
Just one quick thing. We haven't mentioned yet.
Yeah.
Test day 3 of test 2, which was yesterday, Thursday.
All right. Yes.
Kimi Räikkönen, 41 laps was the quickest.
What was?
41 laps. That was, I think he ran the normal cockpit, and then the flip flop. Nico Rosberg second in the Force India. He's a great one. Max Verstappen in the Toro Rosso, third place. Yeah. Nico Rosberg fourth. Felipe Nasra fifth. Fernando Alonso sixth place in the McLaren.
Not bad.
Daniel Kvyat is seventh.
Yeah.
And Felipe Massa 8th place.
Well, there you go. Not bad at all. Very good times from a lot of teams. Obviously, I think there has been a lot of improvements over the winter. As like I said, time will only tell once we get the Melbourne. But I think this is a positive test. But the teams will be wanting to get a lot of running because they've only got 8 days in total of testing, which is the shortest in the sport's history. But I mean, I'll ask you this question. I'll ask everyone watching here to leave your opinions in the comments below. What's your verdict on only having 8 days of winter testing overall throughout 2 tests, 4 days, 2 tests, 8 days of testing to get ready for a new Formula 1 season?
Yeah.
What's your take on that?
It is a very hard one. Maybe they've looked to experience and thought that other years when they've been to Jerez and then Catalonia and then over to Bahrain, that testing doesn't show loads, doesn't test out absolutely everything that they need.
Yeah.
But maybe, I was thinking, maybe with the closed cockpits and the new tyre compounds, maybe that I don't know why they've chosen 8 days, because they've tested yesterday, and possibly today, the closed cockpits, the protection, the halo, or the flip-flop. I'm going to call it flip-flop, not the halo.
I don't know. It doesn't look anything like a halo. I don't know what.
But you know what? That is a very hard one. It's probably. I mean, I can't even come up with an answer for that. But I'm glad it is 8 days, because before it was very long. Say test 1 was in Jerez. That was almost a week. Test 2 was in Catalonia, almost a week. Then we went to Bahrain in the night. Bahrain's an actual racetrack. Why? No, don't bother with testing. Also, because we have in-season testing and young drivers test. There's so much testing going on during the season.
Yeah.
It's almost like they don't want to waste time, waste fuel, or waste any of the drivers or team's time by having more days.
I mean, you've got the likes of you've got two sort of opinions. You've got the fans' point of view and you've got the team's point of view.
Yeah.
You've got the fans' point of view want less testing as possible because they want to see races. They want testing to be the week, like 2 weeks before the Grand Prix. Get it out the way, get the racing going, and because really testing, nobody wants to watch it. They want to obviously keep updated with times and stuff, but nobody can watch like a full testing session. No. And obviously, it's not really entertaining for fans as well. But on the team's point of view, they'll want as much testing as they can get to learn more about the car, to learn basically everything about it. I mean, they are similar cars to last season, but then you've got next season when you've got cars are shorter, everything's changing in Formula One apart from like the engine next season. So hopefully they might get 3 tests, maybe even 4. So they've got longer to learn about the car. As like you said, obviously they have the in-season tests, which I don't know much about. I don't know where they're going for the mid-season test. I think
it's Silverstone.
Again, yeah. Silverstone. Might be, yeah. And then obviously, as like you said, the young drivers test. That's another way to learn more about the car and obviously give young drivers a good chance, but also maybe put like a new component on the car and see where it goes. But yeah, I mean, you're gonna have mixed opinions.
Yeah, and obviously Haas, they must be incredibly glad that today is the last day. Yesterday Grosjean stopped 3 times in the day on track. He brought out the red flag 3 times. They must be incredibly happy that it's over, which obviously isn't looking good for the season. No.
But they have impressed, I must say. I mean, I'll admit that they have impressed.
Yes, of course. Yeah. The 2 new teams, I'm still going to count Renault as a new team, even though they've been in and out in Formula 1 for a long time, an engine supplier, whatever. But as a branded team and the 2 drivers, the 2 new teams, Haas and Renault, have blown me away completely. And they don't look like the teams at the back. Use an example of when Hispania Racing, when Virgin and Hispania Racing, they changed the name and all that. Yeah. That was a team, then became HRT. They were a team that were always going to be at the back. Russia, they were a team that were going to be at the back. Caterham, when they moved from Lotus, they were always going to be a team at the back. Maybe that's a different one because Lotus were fighting midfield, but Haas and Renault aren't showing like they're going to be a team that are just going to stay at the back. They look like a midfield team. They look like a team, maybe a bit like, obviously, we've seen in many years in Formula 1, smaller teams have stuck the nose in. Obviously, Pasta's win in 2012 for Williams. Many podiums from Grosjean, Reitner when he was at Renault. Yeah. Pasta when he was at Williams, Massa when they're at Williams, blah, blah, blah. Smaller teams sticking their nose in and getting these cheeky podiums. So Haas and Renault look like they could do that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I totally agree with you, definitely. I mean, I just hope that Haas and... I'll say Haas. I just hope that Haas don't become like you said, like an HRT or a Virgin Marussia or whatever, who just don't score points, but... And I hope Manor score points. I hope it does become more competitive.
Oh, I do.
But yeah, as I said, I'm looking forward to Haas. I'm looking forward to what Renault have to offer, and Manor as well. So, I mean, as I said, we only hope and pray that they will be more competitive. They'll get points, and then hopefully we can have some very consistent racing. But we are going to end it there.
No, just one more thing I want to say, JT. One more thing. One more massive thing.
I was going to say, but before we go, we need to wish somebody a happy birthday.
You do, and we're going to sing.
And I'm not talking about Lyle.
Oh, that would be amazing. It's for the British world champion, the late Jim Clark. He would be 80 years old today. Yes. Obviously, we wish him a fantastic birthday. Celebrating
that's up there with the likes of Senna, James Hunt, Jules Bianchi. You teach him how driving was proper. And my favourite F1 driver was Jim Clark. I love Jim Clark.
Jim Clark was fantastic. Also that he was British was fantastic.
I mean,
celebrating the 2 wins that he had in the 1960s. The years when Formula 1 was almost like a Beetle car with a bus driving steering wheel, no helmets, just unbelievable. Almost like a go-kart, but dangerous.
Almost. I mean, obviously his active years was 60 to 68.
Yeah.
Lotus, through and through, very close friend with Colin Chapman.
Yeah.
Obviously, championship years 63 and 65.
Yeah.
And in my opinion, one of the best F1 drivers that there ever is, that there
One
ever
of
was.
the best. Unbelievable.
Definitely, he's certainly up there with. I mean, at the time, 25 wins, which was like the most. Then I think he overtook Fangio. I think.
And also
At that point,
to build up from a very small town in Scotland, which
Berwick.
is a small country in very north in the UK, to build from that is fantastic.
He was born in Berwick, which is I think it's not far from where we live.
Berwick is almost the Scottish borders.
From Berwick, so he's almost like from the northeast, kind of, in a way where we're from. So it's like
yes, he is. God, he's a Geordie.
Quite proud of that. I wish he was. So then, obviously, unfortunately, his life was cut short when he was in the Formula 2 race in Hockenheim, and his car came off, hit the tree, and to this day, nobody knows how his car crashed. Colin Chapman said it might have been a deflated tyre.
Yeah.
But to this day, nobody officially knows how that car hit that tree. But
a bit like Ayrton Senna's.
Exactly, nobody really knows.
Tamburello was an easy corner to take. Well, easy-ish. They actually made it worse. If you watch the Senna documentaries, maybe looking past the movie documentary, but other things, Tamburello was a longer sweeping corner, but that was where we saw crashes like Gerhard Berger and the fires. Yes. So they made it worse. But he span off, did nothing. You can watch the onboard cameras. He's driving along. It could have been. People think the logical explanation is like a wheel nut or something that then was like flicked up and hit him in the helmet, which then went through and hit part of his brain, and that's why he died. But it could have been anything. It could have even been a tyre that made him fly off. Anything at all.
I mean, I think there was something wrong with the steering. I think the steering column. Yeah. Something went wrong because
power steering had lost.
Because from the I mean, you're going at such speeds, but the distance from where the corner starts to where the wall is.
Yeah.
And as he was coming out the corner, you just seemed to go straight on.
He did.
I don't know, but do you think he would have had enough time to brake? To try and prevent from hitting the wall?
I'm going to say one thing. If Senna knew his life then, if he had foresight that his life was going to be gone, he would have braked. But I think that would have only been the thing that had made him brake, because he was such a ruthless driver. He would have, he faced death. And just quickly, I know we're going off on a bit of a tangent here, but I remember that Alain Prost.
That's our policy. That's our policy. Unscripted and unedited. We just talk when we want.
I remember that Alain Prost, four-time world champion, fantastic, one of the best drivers ever. But he drove with his head, not his heart. That was one of the downsides. Anyway, he challenged Senna. He said that Senna had no respect for a Formula 1 car, and he would kill himself. Maybe not in those exact words, not in the quote, but I'm trying to think what he said now. But yeah, he did. He said something like, that was it.
I think he said. He thinks he can't kill himself.
Yes, that was it. He said he's stupid. It's stupid to think that you can't kill yourself in a Formula 1 car.
Yeah.
And that's very dangerous, yes. And yeah, because he didn't. Because he didn't.
I know it's... As I said, we'll never know, but obviously we just hope that they rest in peace, and obviously the legacy, like Jim Clark's legacy, Senna's, Jules, everyone's legacy who has died will obviously live on.
Yeah.
And obviously we do wish them to rest in peace and to rest their soul forever. Or as people say, race in peace.
Race in peace. That's
race in peace is what people say about Jules. But anyway, we're going to end it there. Thank you very much for watching. As always, we
thank you everyone. Happy birthday, Jim Clark.
Happy birthday, Jim Clark, as well. You legend. I think Jim Clark is watching this. I think Jim Clark is watching us.
From heaven. Oh yes, everyone's watching from heaven. Jules watches every single race, even Hungary 15. All of the tributes that we made, he was watching it and smiling.
Yeah. 2 seconds. Yeah. Oh, definitely. I mean, I definitely totally agree. I mean, I think Jim Clark would definitely be up and waiting for this upload. He'd be like, "Come on, boys, I want to see this upload definitely very soon." But so yeah. Anyways, thank you very much for watching. We are going to end it there.
Thank you, everyone.
As always, head over to our Facebook page to where you can view this, and obviously give us a like. We're on 30 likes already. We've only been up for like 5 to 6 days.
Yeah.
We're doing really well, forever making progress. But so yeah, we'll end it there. Thank you very much for watching. and we'll see you next week for episode 4.
We will. Thank you,
Cheers.
guys.
Bye.